Welcome to Quilting with Mary Beth and Donna. This week we chat about our severe weather events, our Tennessee retreat, and all the other things. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
Hello, Mary Beth.
Hello, Donna.
How are you today?
I'm peachy. How about you?
I am here.
Yay.
Yay.
You look beautiful today. Is it the color of your shirt? I don't know, but you look beautiful.
And I showered this morning, so that's
Oh,
always.
yay. That did it.
We had a Thea yesterday afternoon threw up all her food,
Oh,
like it hadn't digested it all. And so she acting fine and everything, and then in the middle of the night, she threw up in the bed under the
oh,
under the covers, and so we were awake, like, in the 1 o'clock hour, and I couldn't and and so when I just got back in bed, I changed the sheets and everything and got back in bed, and I was just scrolling my phone till, like, 3, and then, I was you're tired, but you really can't sleep, so I'm gonna think there's gonna be a nap in my future today.
I would think so. And when a dog does that in the middle of the night, it's just like one of your kids. You jump up out of the bed like you're
Like, "Get out of the bed!
crazy.
Get out of the bed!"
At a run. I mean, you go from dead sleep to a run.
And it was funny because, she didn't really actually she just kind of spit something up. I mean, it wasn't solid or anything, so I just wiped it off, and I'm like, "Get back in there," and Tucker's like, "I'm not gonna sleep in that."
Right? Ugh, that's funny.
So, deep, dark secrets from the Smith household.
Isn't that special? Well,
Ah,
we're gonna get a baby in a couple of weeks. Well, it's not May yet, is it? I don't get her till the first week in June, so I'm looking
and
forward to
she's
that.
definitely picked out.
They only have 2 females, and one they said had a zipper on its back, and I'm like, "What?" So I looked it up, and it's just hair that grows backwards, and
Oh,
so some of them that I looked up had a actual Z type pattern, you know? I don't know that hers is that pronounced, but I want the other one.
are
So I
you
don't know.
so you get one of those 2, you don't know which one?
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, can you tell if one of them's gonna be darker than the other one, or is it too early to tell for that?
You know, she just showed a video last night. They're 2 weeks old. They look like yellow labs.
Yeah.
One of the males is darker.
Mm.
He's but
From the pictures of
she's
from the pictures of the parents, I'm assuming that the picture that she showed on Facebook, the mom was on the left and the dad was on the right,
yeah,
and I
mhm,
thought he
and
was a lot to me, he's a lot pretty he looks more like what is, Jennifer's dog's name? Bubba or
yeah,
Bud?
Hank,
Hank.
Hank,
He
yeah,
looks like Hank, and
right,
I think he's
that's yeah, and that's Hank's parents, and
Oh, it is?
I think yeah, and I think the dad is an English lab, so they're more boxy and
Mhm.
square, and I think that's what the little one that I have picked out will look like too.
That's
I'm hoping.
Yeah, because he's a pretty and I mean, she's fine, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and I tell you, honestly, I don't like the way puppies look until they actually look like dogs, you know? And I'm just
yeah. Oh, they just look like little teddy bears, though. I mean, they're just so cute.
I don't know.
I just can't wait
I'll
to
wait
get a
till it's
hold of her.
fully cooked.
And, when I had Bella, she was a chocolate lab and had blue eyes when she was a baby, and I was like, "Oh, I hope they stay blue," and then I don't even know when they turn amber or brown or whatever they were, you know? I don't even know when they did that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it just happened, and there she is.
Well, when we haven't had well, Theo was a puppy. Um, I don't know, she was 8 weeks old, 9 weeks old, or something like that. So she was a puppy, and she looked like a puppy when we got her, but Tucker was a little older, he was, like, 3 months old, and you almost can't tell a difference between when we brought him home to now because he just looks exactly the same, so,
Really?
yeah. So,
Huh.
anywho, okay, so we were gonna do this last week, and then I had the electricians in my house for 2 full days. And
Wow.
even though I wasn't doing anything, it's just stressful to have somebody in your house, knocking
It
on your door,
is.
knocking on your door, "We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that," and I'm like, "I don't care, just leave me alone."
Just do it, and
Yeah,
don't tell me. Yeah,
and then in the afternoon so we were gonna do it in first thing in the morning, but I had them come in, and then we were gonna do it in the afternoon, and we both had storms. Well, I had storms, and then you had storms later.
yeah.
That was the tornado night, wasn't it?
Oh, boy, yeah. That was what was it, Friday? Last
Yeah,
Friday?
yeah,
We had, we had tornadoes on Wednesday in Clinton, which is 35 miles away, I think,
yeah.
and then it's about 30 minutes or so, 35, and then we had on Friday, we had 4 tornadoes in Warsaw, which
Oh,
is
really?
20 minutes away, yeah, and, Amy was saying from City's Edge Quilt Shop, she was saying that, there was roof damage at the house or whatever right behind them, and there was damage across the street at a building over there, but they didn't have any damage, so
That's good.
yay, yeah.
That's
But my favorite Mexican restaurant or
Oh, no.
not my
Well,
favorite, but
I
the
was gonna
one
say
that's
the one that's
close,
in town.
my favorite one. Anyway, but, when we're in a class at City's Edge, they'll say, "Do you guys want lunch?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take some tacos." So now what are we gonna do?
And so
No tacos.
it was heavily damaged?
Oh, peeled the roof off,
Oh,
on
really?
one section. Yeah, like, when you first walk in the door, you've been in there, right?
Yeah, it's higher than
Yeah.
everything else too, so it was probably out there
Yeah,
just
it's
saying,
up on a
"Hit
hill.
me, hit
Well,
me."
yeah, so when you walk in the door and go to the left, all that back section back there is all exposed to the
Oh,
weather
wow.
now.
Great.
Mhm. I know.
Excellent. Excellent.
So
And
so
and
anyway, that was hit, and then the bank that's just down the hill that's in the Walmart parking lot, it was hit too. Part of the roof was taken off with it too.
uh,
It
interesting.
just kinda made a swap through it started at one end of the dam and went down almost like down the road where the dam is, and then came and hit the Mexican restaurant and then all that down through that valley right there, and then lifted right back up about 2 or 3 blocks later, so
Yeah. There was a tornado, guess, in Atchison, and I don't know if it did any damage or anything, but but it's funny because my house I don't I will never do this again. My house does not sit north, south, east, west. It's like a cocked, so it's
square.
like
Yeah,
north,
yeah,
northwest, and
yeah,
and it's backwards anyway because you kinda when you come into the subdivision, you kinda make a U-turn, and so my directions are backwards anyway. So the, sirens went off, and I was like, "Great," and so I immediately and I'm never really thinking we're going to get hit or anything like that because 'cause we're kind of, like, in a low area and there's a lot more stuff happening above me. Um,
mhm.
but when the sirens go off, I try to get the dogs downstairs because it's an effort to get Vale to come downstairs. It's a bigger
Yeah,
effort to get him back upstairs, but he doesn't like coming, so you just kinda push him downstairs and say, "Go on, dog."
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so we put everybody downstairs, and I'm sitting there. It took me about 10 minutes to figure out which direction I need to look to see there was a tornado, so
Did you guys have, bad weather last night or yesterday evening?
we yeah, we had thunderstorms come through, but nothing
Well,
bad.
I don't know, but Kansas City had tornado warnings going just crazy,
Last
and
night?
yeah, and the lady that lived next door to us when we lived up there, posted that the bird on my porch, um, posted that, uh, I don't know if it's spotted or if she said it touched down, I don't think so, but at Cookingham and, um
Once
Woodland, which Woodland is you were looking at a house that was just down Woodland from me,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah. So, that was pretty close to I mean, that was their neighborhood, but, uh, she was frantic a little
Did you
bit,
see
I
that
think.
tornado that, was in, Enid, Oklahoma yesterday?
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, anyway, Thank you for the
Flag
edit
'em.
button, right?
Thank you for the, okay,
I
so
didn't
yeah,
I didn't actually see any video of it, and I'll look today, but
I just
I
saw
that
pictures,
one
yeah.
was headed towards us yesterday, I guess, or in the evening, maybe, I don't know, but it was supposed to be here, like, 11:30 to 3:30, and I'm like, "Mm-mm, that's when I'm asleep," so I just went to bed.
Do
I
can you
I know, that's crazy, but I
what kind of warning do you have? Just your phone? Or do you
mhm.
have any kind of warning?
No, I have my phone, I'm thinking that there's a siren just down here, but
Oh, okay, that's good.
yeah, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look next time I go that direction.
Yeah, well, that's good if you have a siren. So that
Yeah.
tornado that was south of me actually, that storm, I don't say that tornado, but that storm went through Agency, which is where Art Nest is,
Oh,
the retreat
yeah,
center, and I thought about that, I thought about them. I was like, "I wonder what they do," and then there was a picture on Facebook that said that they have some kind of a shelter
yeah,
they go into, so
yeah,
good
I
to
did
know.
see that, so that's good. Yeah, that is good. Well, we had that concrete shelter in our garage.
Yeah,
Rod is just determined to store stuff in it, and I'm like, "Rod, you gotta get all that stuff out." "Well, I don't know where I'm gonna put it, it's paint," and he doesn't want the paint to get cold in the wintertime. Well, it's not wintertime, it's storm season time. So I say, "Pull it all out," because we have 2 neighbors next door that don't have a shelter, and we have a neighbor lady that's down here right now that doesn't have a shelter. And so they all wanna come over, and one neighbor has 3 dogs. They're lap-sized dogs, but, I mean, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people and 3 dogs in there,
it's not that
that's
big of
full house. Yeah.
hope the door doesn't get
Oh,
locked or
which,
whatever.
I no, wouldn't that be something? I am happy for all these people to be here, I'd rather that than something horrible happen.
So, did you corral your cats or did they
You
bear
know
it al
what? We went out there, during the Warsaw. I know. The Warsaw one, we went out to the shelter. Rod never says, "Let's go to the shelter." He's like, "Let's go out on the porch and watch it."
Yeah,
But he did say, "Let's head for the shelter." So we did, and I called the neighbor and said, "Well, hey, we're headed for the shelter," and she said, "We'll be right there," and, the other lady wasn't down here at that time. So we get in the shelter, and Rod leaves the door open and stands just outside the shelter. And so Bob is underneath a shelving unit that Rod has out there, and he's like, he wants to come in, but he wasn't too sure about those dogs, you know? So he just sat there and he'd reach his paw inside the shelter and, like, tap the dog.
like when you grab him, like, "Hold on to him," as he's flying.
Yeah. But it all worked out, it's fine. We had terrible storms last night, but I slept through it. The neighbor lady sent me a message and said, "Hey, if we have a tornado, can I come over?" And I go, "Absolutely." And then I sent her a message this morning and I said, "Did you survive?" She goes, "I slept through it." I'm like, "Okay, me too."
That's I don't know.
Yeah.
It was funny
I
because
did
go ahead.
I did lose half of my or part of my, mimosa tree the other night at
Oh,
the
nice.
Clinton during the Clinton storm, I think it was. Uh, yeah, it broke. So, it's that one with the real fluffy pink flowers on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that tree.
Well, Vale, one of my greyhounds is very, very afraid of weather and anything that goes boom, so he doesn't like fireworks, he doesn't like anything like that, but, he was funny because he's the one he heard the he heard that siren go off, and he's like, "Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do now?" So, anyway, last night, he was, I had Bible study, and I got home a little bit after 8, and it had just started raining, so I got him outside to potty before that, because like, he'll just he's gonna freak out until everything is very quiet. So I got him outside, went to the bathroom, and then there's a bed for him in the guest bathroom, and we keep the fan on because he'll just go in there and pant. But he's funny because you can't hear anything when you're panting, so he goes, and then you can hear him listening, and then he goes, he's listening, so it's like Dale's on thunderstorm watch. He's pretty funny.
That's
Ugh.
funny.
So, anyway okay, so, so anyway, that's why we were not here last week, and then this week has been, I guess, kinda crazy again, although I have not gotten
Evidently.
anything worthwhile done. Um,
Mm.
but we had just come back from a retreat, so let's talk about 50 acres.
Yeah, 48, I mean, 49.6 or whatever.
48.6.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice time, and she fed us well and kept food coming and wouldn't let us pick up our plates. I was amazed by that. I was like, "Let me clean up my mess," but nope,
Yeah.
she would not. She waited on us hand and foot, so that's very nice.
So, 50 acres, what I don't know, what's it called? 50 acres, 50 Acre
Was
Woods Retreat Center.
Yeah, because I
It
think they do family retreats and stuff too.
yeah, maybe so. And, is just I mean, literally, it's, like, right on the Kentucky-Tennessee line.
Really
Um,
close. Yeah.
yeah, so it was about an hour and a half from, um, Paducah
Punic. Mhm.
towards past Paducah towards, Nashville. It's about an hour out of Nashville too. So, we had 8 people in our group, and then there were 2 sets of 2 ladies from Tennessee that came and joined us, and we didn't know them. They just signed up for the retreat, and, lovely ladies, the
Fit right in.
cutest little Tennessee accents. First thing
I love that.
uh, one of the lady that was sitting next to me, and I don't remember what her name was.
Rosemary.
Is that who it was?
Rosemary. Yeah.
Rosemary? Rosemary sat down and said something to the lady to her friend across the way, and she said, "Oh," and I said, "Oh my gosh, do you know who Nate Bargatze is?" And she says, I don't know." And I said, "Well, he's from Tennessee, he's from Nashville, and he does this whole bit about not saying oil, but oil. How you have to overpronounce the word oil." But she was
She
so
came she was the cutest thing. I leaned over to Amy and I said, "I want to adopt her," but I don't think she was up for adoption. So but she hugged me when she first came in because I had my cutting stuff set up on my left, and then I
Oh,
was
yeah.
sharing an
Oh,
iron thing, with Amy on the right, and so she, like, squeezed my shoulders and said, "Oh, good, another lefty," and I go, "Well, no, not really, I'm totally right-handed, but this is the only setup that worked, so I'm just making it work," and it worked fine.
interesting.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
that's how I'm set up here too, so
Yeah. So they were great. All those ladies were good. We all got along. And it was like she said, it was all inclusive. So we got 3 meals a day. We had snacks galore, and it was just a good time. We had a good time.
it was, yeah.
Um,
And she provides the snacks, we don't have to bring them. So
yeah,
she asks you ahead of time what you like to drink as far as sodas or whatever, spritzer waters or whatever, and she provides all that, so that was nice.
yeah. So you can find her at 50 Acre Woods Retreat Center on Facebook. And she
Mhm.
was funny talking about she uses, I think, ChatGPT a lot, and she calls him Bernardo. Her ChatGPT guy is called Bernardo, so every time I think of that, I think of Bernardo. So, you
I
always take
forgot
away
about
something you'll
Yeah.
never forget from these retreats that you'll laugh at forever, so that was the one we could tell on Facebook, or
Oh
we
my
could tell
goodness, and
on a podcast.
it made me laugh that, and I probably shouldn't have, but Amy Amy left her store in charge, her husband, her son, and all of her people that work there, and they said, "Yes, we want you to go. You need to go and relax." I think she did. She had fun. She laughed all the time, but something, like, I think major happened almost every day at that shop, and they would, and it was funny things like Frank cleaning up, like, he likes everything very tidy. and so he was dusting, and he was using a vacuum sweeper. Did you hear this part? And he oh, you'll get a kick. He was vacuuming the things, and he saw he needed to vacuum some mirror that's in there, I don't know. And he vacuumed the mirror, and then he looked over and the back table of the quilt machine needed, dusting or whatever. So he just used a vacuum sweeper and was cleaning that off. And then he looked at the machine and he thought, "Oh, that needs vacuum." And he stuck the nozzle up there and it sucked the thread into the sewing machine or into the vacuum sweeper. And so he called and he said, "This is what I did. Oh my gosh, I thought she was gonna roll on the floor," because he's always doing that kind of stuff, with cleaning and being tidy, which is great, but nobody knew how to thread the machine because they always just tie off and pull the thread through.
That's funny.
And just so happens the lady that used to work there that did the machines, service the machines, she was in and she has a gamble, so she was able to thread it for him and get him going again.
Funny.
And then one day the quilt rack where they hang all the customer quilts fell. So they were in a scramble picking up quilt tops, and getting everything picked back up. And then it was not in the same order that it had been in. They didn't know. Anyway, I probably shouldn't put that out there, but
Life happens.
it does. Well, I think Amy figured out what order they went in, but anyway, yeah, it happened.
Did she on so you guys traveled to Tennessee together and you came home together.
Yeah.
What time did you get and just me curious, what time did you guys leave on Sunday morning?
Oh,
Leave the retreat to go home?
was it around 9, I think?
I don't have any idea.
I th I think it
After
was
breakfast?
yeah, yeah, I think it was around 9, 8:30 or 9, and then, I
Did
don't
y'all
know if
pack up that morning or did you pack up the night before?
I kinda packed the night before, but I didn't carry anything out because, like, my sewing machine case was in the closet upstairs, my
Yeah,
two-door bag, and so I had to take that down, and, just, so I packed up that morning, but, I get up so early that it's no big deal. I was up and going and had all my
yeah.
stuff ready to go, so
Okay, and so what was her debrief so what you can tell us, what was her debrief after? Did she say she had a good time and would
who,
do it again?
Amy?
Yeah,
She had a blast, yeah, I don't know if she'll do it again, but she did have so much fun, where she didn't have to do anything. At her
yeah,
retreats, she's always in charge. She has to work, 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 and people ask questions, and she helps. She's very helpful and, wants to help everybody. So at this retreat, she was able to just go. And, when you think about your quilt shops, you don't think about your quilt shop owner getting to go to a quilt retreat. So
yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
fun for her, I think. And she laughed so much. And um, she laughed till she cried several times. So that was fun.
Oh,
And her arranging that quilt on that design wall, I was like, "Amy, sew it together and be done with it," you know?
that was
It's
so funny
great.
because so we got there, like, 6 o'clock on Tuesday night,
Tuesday night.
and everything got set up, and we had dinner and everything, and everybody started sewing. And I think she got all those blocks pieced that on Tuesday night, didn't she?
Yeah, it was pretty
So
quick.
so they were having some kind of a show in Stover on that next weekend. So she had brought, um, uh, what do you call them, samples that she was gonna sew
Yeah,
for this show. And and I think she had 3 or 4, I don't know how many she brought, but she pulled this one out and said it was gonna be easy. So she spent the first night and it was one of those cards, a Villa somebody,
yeah,
one of
Villa
those
Rosa,
Villa
whatever.
Rosa cards. And so it wasn't a hard quilt, but she pieced the blocks that night, and then I swear she spent 6 hours the next day.
Oh, she said it was
Arranging it.
a full day, and I'm like, "Come on, Amy, just sew it together."
I said, "Amy, how does it say to put them up there?" She says, "Randomly." I said, "There's a word for you. It's random."
Oh, well, she'd get it together and she'd have 2 just alike in the same place. I'd be like, "No." You know, at first I was trying to help, and then at the end, I'm like, "Sew it together and just be done."
Yeah, that
So
was so
then she got it quilted and she had it hanging in the at the her booth at that sale thing, whatever it was, vendor mall, and I walked in and I saw it and I said, "You know, I was gonna tell you have 2 blocks together, but I decided not to tell you that." And she just started laughing. She's like, "Oh, I didn't think I'd ever get that one together." "Nope, I
it's
didn't
yeah,
think
so
so
she
either."
did get that second one together a little faster, but not too
Yeah,
much faster.
yeah.
And you worked on that one thing the whole week.
Oh, what did I work on? I don't
Was that
even
the
remember.
thing with all the little half square triangles? The
Tiny,
Christmas thing?
tiny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was dumb. I'm not sure I'll even open that book again. Was supposed to be fat quarter friendly, and I thought, "Oh, no, 10-inch, cake layers, layer cakes." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, cut it a couple of times and slap it back together with another fabric, and you got it going, you know? No, these are 2.5-inch half square triangles, and there's a lot of them per block.
Would
So
you
and
w
so
would it have gone faster if you'd had a different trimming tool? 'Cause it's either like you were trimming with a
yes,
is it
yes, I needed something different, and I said, "Well, look, I've since then, I have bought one."
well,
Um,
I didn't she was using mine, did you not wanna use mine?
what'd you have?
I had a I could let Amy borrow a 4.5-inch square.
No.
You never did you know about it?
Jolene had one, so I used hers,
Okay.
and it was Quilter Select, which I prefer because that backing, you know, just grips onto the fabric, and
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
I don't have to I don't slide around, and, even with, Creative Grids, I my ruler slides, I'm probably pressing too hard or something, uh, but
I,
yeah, it kind of does a little slippy slide.
I, used I forgot to bring a rotary cutter, so I just changed the blade and the one that was there and used that, and so that worked out fine, but I was using, the 50 Acres people, I was using their rulers, and I hate those rulers that have, like that are, like, the long rulers are, like, 6.5 inches. They need to be even because it's so hard to read those things, and even when you look and say, "I'm reading it right," if you get that thing turned around, you can't tell the difference, and so I
And how
ruined
many times do I turn my ruler all
I
around every
know,
time? I hate that. I
and
don't know what
so
the
I
purpose of that
wasted
is.
a yard and a half of, fabric, and, it's just frustrating, but
Yeah, that's not
the
fun.
ruler people need to
Yeah,
get their act together.
I don't even understand why that's on there. I know you have to make half-inch cuts, you know, like some things, but we know how to do that on a regular ruler, you know?
Yeah,
You don't need to add that half inch for us because we don't use it.
yeah.
It's the dumb.
And I don't know, have you gone down the hole for the precision ruler that they're trying to sell on the internet now for $39? Have you seen that one? Well, basically,
Mm-mm.
the premise is that the whole reason why we suck so bad at quilting is because of the rulers that the rulers aren't precision. There's too much giveaway, like, on your, stripology ruler. There's too much give, so that's why nothing measures up and everything. So she's selling a ruler that is a precision ruler where it's not going to move at all, but they sell two of them, and one of them is 12.5 inches and one of them 6.5 inches. It's like, how are you supposed to cut strips with a 12.5-inch ruler? It's just
Right.
doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm
No.
like, whatever. But I went down I watched that stupid video and read the stupid thing that, tells the story about Mary and how she made 170 quilts and none of them were right, and then she got this ruler and This is the only thing she needed to make her sewing perfect.
Right, Mary.
So, anyway, why was I talking about that? I don't remember. But,
Um,
yeah, so okay, so now I have another question for you.
okay.
Your Chatsworth people met again last week, and
Yeah,
did you decide that you didn't like your first set of blocks?
I did. They're so dark. They're very dark. So I uh I had a half yard bundle of the lavender Tim Holtz
Mm,
from the collection. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna just look at a pretty stack of fabric. I'm gonna use it. So I went out and found I wanted the background to have just a little tiny bit of texture to it, but I couldn't find 6 yards, is what it calls for, and I'm not sure it even takes 6 yards because I think I have the whole thing cut out. Although I do keep going over there and say, "Oh, I don't have that," so I'll cut out something else, so I may whittle it down, but yeah, so I sat here and got 4 blocks caught up. So now I'm caught up, like, May will be our 5th block, so a lot of people have their quilt done since January, and, uh I may try to get a few more done, but I'm trying to trying to stay on track. And I've this week, my plan is housekeeping a little bit because I've got some quilts that need bindings. One needs a sleeve. I hate sleeves. I hate binding, but got to do it. Um, I finished um, Haley's graduation. I know she won't listen to this, so it doesn't matter. Haley's graduation quilt, and I'm had enough fabric left over to make pillowcases, and I still have fabric left over, so I overbought on that, but I didn't know how much I'd need anyway, so that's done. I put binding on a baby quilt that I need to mail off, and I've got to finish the label on it, so I sewed down the label on 2 sides, so now all I have to do is just and I'm done, and I need to get one off another baby quilt mailed off, and it's ready to go, so I'm trying to get all this little stuff that's around here done up so I'm not staring at it.
yeah.
Then I've ordered some, just over time, I've ordered embroidery patterns and didn't download them, so they're in my account. So I need to go to those websites and download them. I've marked my USB sticks that have patterns on them. I've marked what it is so I don't have to guess because that's a mess trying to figure that out. So I'm just trying to do a little housekeeping stuff around to get little things that I know are in the back of my head that are, niggling at me, and I just wanna get that out of my way, so then I'll get back to that Christmas quilt with the teeny weeny little pieces.
Is that one you pulled out from the jar?
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
when I was looking for the stuff that I wanted to work on at that retreat, it amazes me how hard it is to find stuff. It just get I don't know what it does, but it hides I think it cloaks itself sometimes, like, "Okay, we're not gonna let you see that for." And then and then it's not in the when you finally find it, it's not any doesn't look any way like you thought it was gonna look. So anyway, I had a real hard time finding the fabric, um, for that quilt. And this was the Nebula quilt, which was the block of the month that I'd gotten 4 years ago and never even never even opened to look at it.
Sounds like me and Sophia.
Yeah, so yeah, I know where she is. But anyway, going through I've got 2 big well, I would say, essentially, I have 3 of the big wire racks that have fabric and kits and stuff on it, and I need to organize that. And I've been reluctant to do that just because I don't know. I'm just a I'm an I try to be anti Mary Beth. I try to be not organized. And so,
It helps your whole day.
well, and when I was thinking and I did print off that quilt organizer thing, 72 pages,
Yeah, I
6
was
months.
gonna ask how that went.
I don't even know where that is right now. So anyway, I had seen advertised on Facebook somewhere the little they look like mesh bags, but you can kind of see in them, but they're not open. That
Yeah,
bags, project bags.
yeah.
And I was wondering if I shouldn't just buy a bunch of those and just put the projects in there. And what do you think?
Well, it might be a good idea. Would take up less room, depending on how much you can get in it. What I've been doing lately is when I find backs on sale, I buy them and I match them up with what I have here,
Uh
you
huh.
know? So if you do that, then that's gonna take up some territory. But I've been able to put them either in the tub with what I have or lay them on top. The bags might be a good idea because what I did for this retreat this time was take my kit out of what I was gonna put it in, what it was in, like the tub. I took it out, I cut it all up and put it in baggies and then put it in one big bag and brought it with me, and that didn't take up as much space. So putting them in a bag that you can see through might be a good idea. Just depends on how you're gonna put them on your shelf so you can see
Yeah.
them and know what they are without having to pull them all out each time.
Yeah. I've got to do something because I've got to tame the mess so that I can really know
Unless
what
you
I have.
unless you put each bag, this might be an idea, put each bag into a small tub like these tubs I have.
Yeah. That would probably be easier to buy the tub then.
If you just put them in a tub like this and then mark the end of it with what all's in there, like if you have 4 kits in there, then just put each kit on here that you have in the tub. That way you'll know what you have. Instead of just setting a bag on the shelf, you're not gonna know what's in it, are you?
Yeah. No. I mean, no. But
Mm-mm.
I don't know. So I need to manage that a little bit. I've got a lot of managing that needs to happen. And
Yeah,
it
see,
was
that's
funny because
fine.
I went through those because I was sure that this fabric was in called the music room where I store my stuff. That's where the guitars and stuff are. I was sure it was on one of those 2 shelves. I was positive, and couldn't find it. I mean, I found a little bit of it, but I didn't find the whole thing. And then I looked in my water closet, where my water softener is, and the rest of it was in there. So I don't even know where all my stuff is. I need to
Oh, you need me to come visit?
I do. Uh, how long would it take you to do that?
Yeah,
You could probably manage me pretty quickly, I would think.
I would think, because you don't have a lot of junk like I do.
Yeah.
I did omit a project that I had up there. You and I were with Linda Card in Texas one time going to we were actually out doing shop hopping, and we found a quilt show or something, and we
Uh-huh.
stopped at it.
Yeah.
I bought a hand embroidered barn thing, and I was really excited to do it because my mom taught me to hand embroidery a long time ago, but I haven't done it in years, and I'm a little sketchy at it, and I don't like how it's looking. So I decided that that is one project I'll probably never ever finish. And I finish, I'm trying to make sure I finish everything, but
Yeah.
that one I'm just not. So I decided to take it apart. And so yesterday I took it all, or day before, took it all out of the box, out of the tub, and put the fabric where I could use it, but because I had it all kitted up,
I need
pattern back
to
together.
I need to start doing handwork. And this summer would be a really good time to do that because once start doing it, I enjoy it. It's just
Yeah.
starting. And I've got a ton of wool stuff
Oh,
that
yeah?
just needs
That's good.
buttonhole stitching.
Yeah.
So I need to do that. In fact, the very first thing I ever bought at what's the quilt store in Hannibal that we like?
Missouri Star? No.
Hannibal.
Hickory Sticks.
Hickory sticks. The very
Yeah.
first thing I bought there, it was a like a cream on cream, a creamy background with wool snowflakes on it,
Uh-huh.
and I just need to batten down the wool snowflakes and quilt it, and
Yeah.
that's 7, 8 years. That's been forever because that was when we went to Springfield. That was before I even moved
Oh,
here,
yeah,
wasn't it? That was before I even moved here.
probably. Springfield where? Missouri?
No, when we went to,
Oh,
the
you and I
we
went
went
to
to the MQS or whatever. Lincoln, Lincoln,
That one?
Lincoln.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that was a long time. That was
That
when I
was a
bought my Go machine, and I was trying to think the other day how long I've had that because I use it, people don't use theirs when they buy it, but I
So it's been well, we closed on our house 5 years ago last week. So it's been probably 7 or 8 years since
isn't
then.
that oh, you think it's that? I thought it was longer than that, but maybe not.
I mean, it could have been, but it's at least 7
And
or 8
that
years.
was that MQS that we went to?
I think it was.
Oh,
I mean, I think it was.
I can't
It was
remember.
something. It was some kind of a
Yeah, something. I don't remember what it was.
yeah, I don't
I don't
remember.
even remember the show at all except that you enticed me into buying my Go. But we had so much fun going to Lincoln stuff and going to the shops, the shops
Yeah.
that we visited.
Well,
They
that
were
because we did Highway 36 and, we did the Highway 36 all those shops going over there, didn't we?
no, that you were with someone else because I wasn't gonna go that to do those shops, and so you picked up my blocks for me.
This was before that, though. This was before
Oh,
that, though, 'cause that was after I moved here.
oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
because
know.
that's when we were going
Oh, well,
to, Kinderhook.
my memory won't let me go back that far.
We remember when Springfield was with the hotel room where the wind was, like, blowing underneath the door and it sounded like, do you remember that?
No. I
That
don't
was
remember anything. I remember going to see Lincoln, and I remember going to his tomb, and his nose is, like, really pretty shiny because everybody rubs his nose for good luck. I remember that part. He's bronze, and his nose is like gold where everybody just touches his nose.
and that's when we did the tour of Mark Twain's place in Hannibal.
That was at same time?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's when we said we need to come up here and spend a little more time.
Yeah. Except I'm too scared to stay there because of ghosts.
Haunted.
I don't do
Yeah.
ghosts.
No, we don't do ghosts.
I had a dream the other night that, I was in this house that like, we'd bought this house or something and we're gonna renovate it or whatever, and I went into, like, the study, and everything was, like, raised to the ceiling, like, everything was lifted up.
Levitated?
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, I'm just acknowledging that I see you here, please leave me alone." This isn't a dream, isn't that
That's
weird?
so weird, yeah. You're watching too many weird poltergeist movies or something.
I did watch that a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, did you see my post about my friend that ran across the porch?
Your friend?
I
Oh, the
Yeah.
groundhog?
I was sitting here just sewing, and I kinda glanced up and see something dart across the in front of the window, and I thought it was Bob, and I looked out, and I'm like, "That isn't Bob." It was a groundhog on my porch, and I jumped up and I ran out there, and you could hear it scurrying, so it ran under the porch, and then it sat there and whistled. I didn't know they did that.
Ew, that's
It was
weird.
like a well, of course, I never thought about groundhog noises before, but it sounded like a guinea pig.
Oh,
So,
I don't know
there you
what
go.
a guinea pig sounds like.
Groundhog, guinea pig, so they must be in
Same
the
thing.
same
Well, it could be a wild guinea pig, somebody that got left out, somebody left their friend out on the
something.
front porch. Well, we we we're just a mess here, so I just wanna acknowledge that some half of us are a mess here. Um, but Ed makes a big deal about covering up everything for winter, like on the back porch, like
Oh,
furniture and
mhm.
everything. Well, he covers it up. He never uncovered it last year. So
So we don't use the porch much then, is that it?
never happened. So, so there's a big tarp over it, sort of kinda still over it, and I there's something hanging out under there because Thea is spending a lot of time, like, looking in there, and I think we've got a cat that spends some time out there, so that's hopefully one of the goals we do this weekend is to get that tarp off and get all the bad stuff
Yeah,
thrown away and everything so we can use our backyard, but,
yeah.
yeah, I think we've got a cat back there.
Well,
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
we sit on our deck quite a bit, our porch back here, so, uh, it's pretty nice. You can't really see the view anymore because the trees have all leafed out, you know?
Yeah, but I'm ready
They're
for that to
so
happen
green.
because Thea stands on um, the back deck and barks at the houses on the other side of the ravine and leaf
Oh,
out so that she can't see you guys.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, it's so leafed out here, and it's so green. We've had so much rain, it's just beautiful, so
that's good because y'all been kind of on
anyway,
the dry side for a
we've
while.
yeah, been in drought for, like, 3 years, so it's
Yeah.
looking really good this year.
Well, anywho, I need to let's see. So what is our plan? I need to figure out how to cull my projects. I need to actually sew.
Tell me when's a good time, I'll come help you organize.
I don't know. Okay, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then you're working on cleaning and organizing.
Well, just, finishing up finding out what, my patterns that I have out there that are just hanging out. I mean, how many times do people order a pattern online as a download and then say, "Oh, I'll come back and get that later."
Oh, I've got,
They do?
I've got,
I
I've got
know.
a lot of times because it's on my phone and I don't want to download it because it's going to download
Yeah,
on my phone. And then when it goes on your phone downloaded, it's an act of God to figure out where it went.
yeah. Well, that's yeah, so I try to if I do it on my phone, that's why I leave it in my account, and then I think, "Well, I'll just do my laptop later and I'll print that off." And I hadn't used my laptop to do that sort of thing in a while, so then I had to reconnect it to the cable that goes to the printer to set it all like, I didn't have to set it all back up, I had to do something for it to
Yeah. Yeah.
remember that it is connected, so anyway.
Yeah. So, and we also, I had a thought.
Oh, boy.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I know my Bible study next Thursday is my last Bible study. So then I have
Oh,
4
no.
whole
Yeah.
months where I don't have to do that. And
Oh,
so that just takes that takes like 10 hours a week for me to do.
yeah,
So that'll be over. So then I can say, oh, okay, I've got 4 months to so
yeah.
that'll
I
happen.
got I was, going to Bible study. We have 2 women's Bible studies, so one is on, like, Tuesday I'm gonna say Tuesday mornings, and the other one's on Thursday evenings or whatever. So I thought I did the Thursday evening, and it's like something would always come up. So I thought, well, maybe it's because Rod's home in the evening. It's hard for me to be there and here and make sure he has dinner and all that. So I quit doing it, and then I thought, "Oh, I'll do the morning." So I'll do Tuesday mornings, and he won't be here, and then he told him he wasn't gonna drive anymore, although he still is, but I thought I could do Tuesday mornings. Then Trip, the thing with Trip and all that, and it's just, like, emotionally and mentally, I just
Yeah.
wasn't there, so I quit, and Rod said, "You've gotta quit starting your Bible studies and then quitting." So I'm just not gonna start
Just
again, I guess.
just don't start again.
Yeah. I mean, I have several here that are started, so the booklets, so I'll just take it and sit out here on my little deck and study my Bible and
Yeah.
do my thing, so
So we'll get our act together. There's
we
always hope that we'll get our
will.
act together. I think just to close the loop, I did the blocks for the nebula quilt,
Oh,
and
that looks so good too, by the way.
I think that I am going to. just make it a lap size because I got a graduation announcement for an old the people that lived across the street from us in Colorado. And so I might just make that and give that to her for graduation. So,
Wow, that's a nice one. I thought about doing my little Christmas quilt and a baby quilt too, and just yeah, those are little pieces, inch by inch and a half. Then when you get it sewed in, it's gonna be tiny.
yeah.
Craziness. Crazy. Whoever wrote that.
Yep. Ugh. So,
Yeah.
okay, I feel more guilty than when we started, so I think we've just
So sorry.
I need a jar.
Every time I find a depression glass jar, I'm like, "Oh, I need to get that for Donna," but they're all high. I don't know how much I paid for mine, and then I lost the lid. I can't find the
The
lid
lid is
anywhere,
still gone, yeah.
so I gotta
Oh, you
try
know
to
what I did? I have a group of ladies that I have lunch with once a month. We're like our accountability group, and, so every 4 months, I host lunch here, and I'm always embarrassed because I don't have like, at one point, I just put all of the, silverware that I have, flatware that I have just in the thing, and you just pull out a fork and a knife and whatever goes, and I couldn't put together 4 place settings of the same pattern
Oh,
for all the stuff that I have. So so I said the other day and I actually bought glasses too the other last week because I'm like,
I
"I need
love
to have
glass.
glass. I need to
Yeah,
not."
I love glass.
So I did that. So anyway, I looked online and I'm like, "I'm going to" because this is my wedding, flatware, which I really loved, but I never really used it because it was, special. So I
Oh,
found it on eBay. I can get like at least an 8 place settings for like 200 and something. And if you buy it from, the other places that were selling it were selling one setting for like $200. So I'm like,
ooh,
"Yes." So I'm excited about that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually gonna be able to commit to serving dinner to 8 people at one time.
Yay.
Not that I'll
Well,
ever do it, but
we finally bought silverware, and Rod goes, "I want something that's hefty, I don't want it to be lightweight," and
yeah.
so we get this silverware, and it's hefty, but sometimes when you're after you finish dinner and you're carrying the plates over, something falls off the plates because it's so heavy, it's I'm like, "Good grief." What I need is steak knives. I have, like, 3.
Mm, yeah.
So so if somebody comes and we're having meat, then we're gonna have to
To
share.
share. Oh, let me cut it for you. Well I tell
Yeah,
you what, we tell all the secrets here.
don't we? Well, maybe
Okay,
not all of them, but yeah.
we're getting close. Okay, well, this is fun. We'll get together again in the next week or
Like,
2, and maybe
yep.
we need to promise we have done something
Yeah.
for
I'm
me.
gonna get this. I'm gonna get well, I have some I probably shouldn't start another subject, but I do have some projects that I wanna get done before my quilt retreat in September,
Mm,
and, so, like, that's in my head. That's a goal, so I've gotta get that done, but yeah, and I need to update my list, because I've done finished some things that I need to mark off that list, and I like
yeah.
doing that. Makes me feel like I've done something, so
Cool.
anyway,
Okay, well, it was great talking to you.
yep, you
Thanks for
too.
joining us, everyone.
Yes, do you wanna tell where we're at? Like, I think we
Yes.
forgot that last time, so
Yeah,
and you
that's true.
you have set us up on YouTube,
Correct.
right?
Right.
What's that one under?
So,
'Cause it's
I think they're all quilting with Mary Beth and Donna. You, on podcasts and Spotify, they're quilting with Mary Beth and Donna. On YouTube, it's the same. And then you have a Facebook page, Quilting with Mary Beth, and Instagram also. And I haven't been seeing you too much out there lately.
yours is
Donna,
Quilted for You. It's
Donna.
Quilted for You on YouTube.
Oh, but the podcast is, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Quilted for You on YouTube, but the podcast is called Quilting for with Mary Beth and Donna, and you can find that on
yeah,
YouTube also. Um,
yes, and if you wanna call it quilting for Mary Beth and Donna, then you could volunteer to quilt for us or make our projects for us.
yeah, we need that help.
Right.
And I haven't for some reason, you don't and I don't do a whole lot on Facebook. I watch these silly horses, the
Mm.
horse farm in Tennessee. But, I don't haven't seen Quilting with Mary Beth on there as much lately. I don't know if you're not
Well,
doing it.
because you said you make digs at me saying I'm on there all the time, so
I haven't missed
so
anything.
so I was trying not to be, but, it really grates on me not to be. I don't do Instagram a lot,
Yeah.
but, I mean, I look at it because I like to send you all those reels, all the time,
Yeah,
stupid reels all the time.
all the
That's
time.
all I do on there, but on Facebook, uh, I'm usually on my page. I would rather go to my page than my personal page.
Right.
I'm just not but I do a little bit on my personal page, so
Okay, so now you know where to find us.
yes,
Please like and subscribe
and
or
have
whatever, or
yes.
don't, just listen to
Yes,
us
and
occasionally.
just join us. We're
Yeah.
happy to have
I mean, we just
everybody.
opened up our hearts to you for 56 minutes.
Well, maybe we can edit. I know there's one word we need to get rid of, so maybe there's a few more.
Anyway, okay, we will see you
Anyway,
next
okay.
time.
Okay. Thank
Well, there you have it. We'll see you next time.